It's 2024 and we're due for a new PC build guide, as we now have more options to choose from thanks to newly released hardware, such as the Intel 14th Gen processors and NVIDIA RTX Super GPUs. New hardware also means discounts on existing components, and that's what we will be taking advantage of in this 60,000 peso gaming PC build guide. So let's take a quick rundown of the components. Starting off with the CPU, we chose the Intel Core i5-13400F, mainly because it's the CPU that best fits our budget. For those watching this video at a later date, the 14th Gen variant should be already out, and we do recommend that CPU instead, as long as it's around the same price. But in this case, we happen to complete the whole PC build before the 14th Gen. Non-K CPUs were on store shelves. Cooling our i5 processor is the Deepcool AK400 digital CPU cooler. Now, the stock cooler is more than enough for a simple build, so you're free to skip this if you're on a limited budget. That said, the AK400 digital launched last Computex and now is one of the best budget air coolers with a neat status screen and RGB lighting. If you want to save some cash though, there's a white version and a non-digital one as well. Going for an Intel CPU gives us flexibility in our PC build, especially if budget's a main concern. We opted for the Gigabyte B660M Aorus Pro DDR4 motherboard, mainly for DDR4 memory. DDR5 is still relatively expensive and the speed benefits won't be tangible for the average user. DDR5 is still relatively expensive and the speed benefits won't be that tangible for the average user. Despite using an older chipset, the Aorus Pro has more than what you need, especially if you're looking to upgrade your components down the line. We opted for Kingston Fury Beast DDR4 3600 MHz kit. A 16GB kit is going to be more than enough for gaming or content creation, considering its speed at 3600 MHz. However, this build has a 32GB kit, which to most people would be overkill. But if you use memory-intensive apps or do a lot of photo editing, then 32 gigs would suffice. Another option is to opt for a 16GB kit now and populate the remaining slots later. Moving to the storage, this one. The Kingston KC3000 SSD is one of the best value Gen 4 storage in its price, especially at 1TB capacity. That said though, we went with the 2TB variant for this build, but the decision to get 1TB or 2TB is up to your budget and how many files you'd like to store. Going to the GPU, we went with the cheapest RTX 40 series GPU available, and we're talking about the RTX 4060. The RTX 4060 is well capable of playing games at 1080p at high settings and frame rates, and is a decent GPU for productivity as well. Combined with i5-13400F, high-speed DDR4 3600 MHz memory, and fast storage, this 600K gaming PC can do more than just gaming, which we'll see in our benchmarks later. For the power supply, FSP sent us the latest ATX 3.0 FSP Hydro G Pro Gold PSU to use in this build. Yes, it's an 850 watt variant, allowing more room for upgrades of even up to an RTX 4090. The ATX 3.0 version is on the more expensive side, especially at 850 watts. So if you want to save up, you could go for the older 650 watt Gold version, saving you up to 2K pesos. But if you want to upgrade in the next 3 to 5 years, then getting the 850 watt variant now will save you the hassle and allow you to actually save up more money instead of buying a new power supply when you upgrade. Housing all of these is the Deepcool CC360 ARGB case. Since we have an M-ATX board, we thought it's best to pair it with an M-ATX case as well. As the name suggests, it can support a 360mm cooler and comes with 3 pre-installed fans. Like the AK400, there's also a white version available. With that out of the way, here's a quick montage of the build, followed by our benchmarks. I'd like to remind you, especially first-time builders, to turn on XMP on the BIOS to fully take advantage of your Kingston Fury Beast 3600 MHz RAM. If you don't turn on XMP, then the kit will only run at the default speed of 2400, which will result in losing some performance, especially in productivity. So, as seen in our benchmarks and what we've mentioned earlier, this 60K gaming PC can do more than just gaming. It's a very capable AAA gaming machine at 1080p on high settings, and it can also do video editing and productivity-related tasks with ease. Now, this build was made with upgradability in mind, so we'll discuss which parts to upgrade depending on your use case. Now, this build was made with upgradability in mind, so we'll discuss which parts to upgrade depending on your use case. If you want to step into 1440p gaming, then you may want to go for an RTX 4060 Ti or a higher GPU. But we recommend the RTX 4070 Super as it currently has the best price to performance based on our review. If you lean more towards the productivity side, then you can go for the higher tier CPU down the line and even add more memory or storage depending on your workload. Of course, you could also upgrade the GPU, especially if your workload requires more video memory. Nonetheless, this PC by itself is a very capable machine, whatever type of workload you throw at it. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. We also have an article version explaining more of the build and other alternative parts, and you can check that out on gadgetpilipinas.net. I'm more than just a random dude. I'm Ram from Gadget Pilipinas, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.